films even after losing a box. After a 5-mile walk around town, I never smell your socks. You hid movies from your folks and your mom hid them from your grandma. And a lot of the time that we hang out, you record it with your camera. Always have the strength to forgive when I hit you in the eye. You eat Chinese ramen, nachos, fish, even pizza pie. Standing tall with curly hair, leather jacket wrapped. Oh look, here he comes, the Million Film Almanac. Bobbly, 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 bellissimo. Bobbly, 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 bellissimo. Bobbly, bellissimo. Bobbly, bellissimo.
Hi, and welcome to Terribly Fun Films. It's been down for a while, but it's back. Superhero films ranking list. We got a lot to get through. Let's get to it. Number 95 is The Guyver, Dark Hero, the sequel to the first Guyver movie. And it's a better film, mostly. The weird comedy is gone, and so it's more tonally consistent, which is, of course, always scores big points for me. It feels bigger, the stakes feel higher, but it has a lot of the same drawbacks as the first film as well. Awesome suit stuff, not so good acting. It feels like the plot is much more of an excuse to get to the action scenes than telling a story, things like that. Number 94 is Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. To set in the same continuity as the rest of the Batman Beyond show. If I remember properly, this is their only movie. It was made direct for TV and was made to tie into the rest of what was going on in Batman Beyond at the time. Given that it's only slightly over an hour, it can only do so much, but it does do it well. The Joker death scene in this film is amazing, really well handled, really intense, and adds an emotional weight that just wouldn't be there otherwise. The rest of the movie does stick sort of to the Batman Beyond formula, but it is well animated, it is well voice acted, and is fun and engaging. Number 93 is the direct-to-DVD film JLA Adventures Trapped in Time. From what research I've been able to find on this, JLA Adventures was meant to launch a whole subset of direct-to-DVD animated Justice League of America adventures. This is the only one they ever made. When I gathered, it was an exclusive DVD release at Target after premiering on TV. Some of that might be incorrect, but this is just what I was able to find, and some of that's from memory after watching it for the first time. It's really fun. It is aimed at a little bit of a younger crowd than something like Batman Beyond, but I think in terms of what it's set out to do, that sort of thing, it's really surprising, fairly original, and every member of the team gets a chance to shine, which is important. It doesn't feel overcrowded, doesn't overstay its welcome, very well animated. Kids will definitely like it more than adults will, but the adults, especially if they're huge Justice League fans, will get something out of it too. Number 92 is the direct-to-DVD Marvel film The Invincible Iron Man. The animation is still kind of subpar, as all of these are. The straight-to-DVD Marvel films outside of Hulk versus and Thor Tales of Asgard looks really good. the animation is only ever just okay. But I think they do a lot of interesting things with the character of Tony. It's written with his relationship to Rhodey, that sort of thing, that helps it overcome that. And it moves really well. The action is fun. And the twist with who the bad guy is works nicely. Number 91 is The Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie. In some ways, this does feel like a retread of the first two films, in that a lot of the jokes feel similar, a lot of the plot beats feel similar, but as per Troma's usual style, it is gonzo, off-the-wall, insane stuff that you just cannot find anywhere else, and that does make it really engaging and really cool. So yay to that. Makeup is fine, the acting is good for the kind of movie it is. Given that we have 4 Toxic Avenger films, this is the one that I think is the least necessary to continue the story and adventures of the Toxic Avenger. Number 90 is Ultimate Avengers 2 Rise of the Panther. Ultimate Avengers 2 gets some awesome action scenes and some fun characterizations, especially for the Black Panther character. But it does suffer from the stiff animation that is a hallmark of most of these straight-to-DVD animated Marvel films, and the plot feels kind of slight. The stakes don't feel as high as the first movie. The threat doesn't seem as big. It feels weirdly small in that regard. And it's a fine watch. It's an alright watch. And it's something that I would definitely watch with kids, as it's harmless. And I think they'll be able to enjoy it more so than an adult. Thor: The Dark World is number 89, and it's good. It is one of 2 of my least favorite MCU films. The first one is The Incredible Hulk, which I already discussed, and this one is odd. It's got great action, solid villain, really interesting stuff. I like having Thor and Loki needing to team up in order to defeat the bad guy, and that Loki actually goes along with it. He's trying to help. He's devastated by the death of a certain character. If you haven't seen that, I won't spoil that. I like the acting quite a bit. I like that in this one, Jane goes to Asgard. That's cool. But it has so many plot threads just left dangling. And I don't mean plot holes. If you want to be nitpicky, you can probably find plot holes. And that's something that doesn't make sense. The plot doesn't even bother to address. A plot thread is something that gets brought up and then is never really explored or finished off or anything like that. There's this whole thing with Lady Sif really liking Thor and wanting Thor. She's his guardian, and yet he's in love with Immortal, and when Jane shows up, nothing happens. They don't ever talk about it, they don't fight about it, and I'm glad that our female characters in this film are not brought down to just fighting over a man. That's good, but why even bring that up then? It doesn't work, it doesn't make sense, it's awkward. Also, while I like Christopher Eccleston as the evil dark elf Malachi. I can't even remember his name. That should tell you something. The bad guy's playing is interesting to use the dark world and whatnot, but it feels a bit generic, if that makes sense. Strong visuals, but the plot needed another work through. Number 88 is Mercury Man, and I really wish Mercury Man was better known. Mercury Man has amazing action scenes, and some more amazing action scenes. The action in Mercury Man is the reason to watch Mercury Man. The action scenes in this film are to die for. Sadly, there are bad things, because action cannot just make a movie by itself. The acting's only ever okay. No one does a necessarily god-awful job, but no one really sells it either. The film looks kind of cheap at times, very low budget, and the costume is goofy as shit to the point where it's hard to take the movie seriously because of it. But dear God, those action scenes are probably well worth it, actually. Like, I would recommend them. Number 87 is The Fantastic Four. This should not be confused with Fantastic Four, which is the 2000s film starring Ewan McGregor and Jessica Alba. Its sequel, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, nor should be confused with Fantastic Four Stick, which I've already fucking discussed. The Fantastic Four is the unreleased 1990s, I want to say 1994 specifically, Roger Corman produced Fantastic Four film. There's an amazing documentary out about the production of the film that I highly recommend. It's called Doomed, The Untold Story of Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. There is controversy about whether the movie was ever meant to be released or not, and the documentary goes into great detail about that. The Fantastic Four is very low budget, very goofy at times, massive plot holes, certain things just don't make any kind of sense. But it's earnest, it's very earnest, and there are definitely things in the film that totally work. It feels like a Fantastic Four movie, which is a criticism the other three films don't. I'll get into why I think that's a bit of an issue later. It's a big adventure. It's very ambitious for its low budget. But it is low budget. The special effects, especially the way the thing looks, not good. The actor tries so hard, but he just can't overcome the way the creature looks. The diamond, which is the MacGuffin for the film, looks, well, like a fake diamond. It looks like a prop. The sets look like sets. There are some interesting, engaging shots going on with some of the CGI. The CGI looks like early 1990s CGI, but I've seen 1990s early CGI films in big budget theatrical releases that also don't hold up. So I can't really fault the movie for that too much. There are very endearing aspects of the film, and even when you're laughing at the film for all the reasons they don't want you to laugh at it, stupid dialogue, ridiculous scenes, odd editing. Oh my god, the editing at times goes off the rail. You'll constantly be having fun with the film. It's why it's higher than some films that are perhaps objectively better. For all its flaws, I do enjoy the movie. I'm never bored watching it. I have a good time with this film. No matter if it's because that particular scene actually worked, or if it's because I'm laughing my ass off that it didn't. Number 86, Hellboy, Blood and Iron. Blood and Iron is the second animated Hellboy film. I already discussed Sword of Storms, and this is by far the superior animated movie. Sword of Storms is harmless fun, but it doesn't totally work. Everything about this movie, the way it ties into Professor Broom's backstory, the way it ties into vampire lore, the way it ties into local lore of, I want to say they're in Romania in the movie, correct me if I'm wrong there. The voice acting, everything about this film is much creepier, more intense, more in line with what you think of when you think of Hellboy, and is really good, really solid. But the animation's only still okay. There are moments where it's kind of stiff and where it's kind of hard to tell what they were trying to do in that, thanks to some shoddy editing. Minor complaints, though. Yeah, it's an animated movie, so maybe minor is the wrong term. But I think you can overlook those things because it's a very engaging plot. It's very well thought out. The characters do some really interesting things. The humor is well placed. The drama is well placed. It works. Number 85 is Superman Unbound, which is a DC animated universe film, direct to DVD, and is really good. It's one of the more interesting takes on Superman. Unbound should give you an idea of what you're in store in that regard. Really kinetic, really cool action films, strong visual style, heavy lines for the characters, which I like. Good voice acting. Does take a little while to get going, though. And it's not like character stuff you need to know. It's Superman. You know Superman. So it felt a little boring for the first 20 or so minutes. But once it gets going, it does keep that going fairly well and is really engaging with the action. Number 84 is Sheena. Sheena is based on a serialized comic from the 50s or 60s and is a sort of female Tarzan? Sort of. She can talk to jungle animals. She was raised in the jungle, that sort of thing. And by most objective measures, minus a few things, the film's not really good. The cinematography is gorgeous. Gorgeous looking film. And the score is awesome. Outside of that thing, though, the movie isn't that good. The lead actress, not that good. The main actor, not that good. The plot, predictable, goofy, and ham-fistedly handled. The dialogue, ridiculously over the top. The editing, goofy as shit. There are certain sequences that just don't make sense. But this all goes up in the who gives a shit question. Because you're going to put this movie on, you're going to have a really good time watching it. Really fun. Really ridiculous. And that's worth it. Number 83 is the short animated film Hulk vs. Thor. Hulk vs. is the title of DVD, Blu-ray, straight to DVD animated set that featured two animated movies, Hulk vs. Thor and Hulk vs. Wolverine. Hulk vs. Thor is okay. This is the best of all the animated direct-to-DVD Marvel films that I've seen, and I believe I've seen all of them. Correct me if I'm wrong there. The animation in both shorts, great. Asgard looks really cool. They do a lot of fun stuff with the Rainbow Bridge. It looks really good. The plot's okay. The dialogue's okay, and the action's only okay, though. But quality of the animation is so good, and the voice acting is so good that if you're a massive Hulk or Thor fan, this will totally fit what you want from that stuff. Number 82 is Avengers Confidential, Black Widow and Punisher, another Marvel animated film that was straight to DVD. This one only looks okay animation-wise, but the characterizations are really strong, and it never stops moving. From when you start the film until it ends, it is a non-stop thrill ride of action after action, while not sacrificing character nor plot. It's So it really does work, especially given you have two action-heavy heroes in Black Widow and Punisher. So it's a lot of fun. Not that deep, nor is it necessarily trying to be. The dialogue is really only there to move us on to the next action scene, so it is very exposition heavy. It feels very exposition heavy, but minor complaint in the grand scheme of how much fun the action is. Number 81 is Fantastic Four. You might be scratching your head trying to figure out which one this is. Well, I've already talked about Fantastic and that terrible piece of shit. I, just a few issues ago, discussed Roger Corman's The Fantastic Four, so that really only leaves one possible outcome. This is the 2000s film starring Ian Gruffod and Jessica Alba. I've already reviewed this as a text review on Terribly Fun Films, so this won't be long. I enjoy this movie. I like the actors. I think they work well together, even if Jessica Alba isn't quite believable as a scientist. I like the special effects. They mostly hold up. Heroism, actually. Like, it's much more interested in their day-to-day lives and doing silly sitcom things within that than actual them doing superhero adventure things. And that is an issue. Number 80 is the Michael Rappaport starring film Special. He is a test subject for a new hope to be FDA approved drug, and it gives him powers. Kind of like Limitless, but instead of unlocking the potential of his brain, he gets actual superpowers. It's a really good drama. It's got great performances, really interesting stuff that I've never had the desire to watch again. If you watch and go, oh, I thought it should have been higher on this list that I'm doing, I could see why you'd say that. I mean, it is in the top 100, so that's something. But personally speaking, I didn't sit down and go, oh, I need to rewatch Special. I remember really liking it and being impressed with the acting and that sort of thing. But it's never a movie that's called me to rewatch. So, it's only number 8. Number 79 is Mystery Men. Mystery Men has some brilliant lines. It also has some really, really stupid lines. Some very juvenile humor, while also having some very, very clever humor. It has some great costumes and some great production and art design for the city, and I can't figure this movie out, as you can tell. There's a moment where I want to say it's Paul Rubin's character gets humped by a skunk. Correct me if that's not the actor whose character that happens to. And Keenan from Keenan and Kel, one of the two, is in the film, and he is like, just go with it. And he does this little dance thing while it's happening. Nope. Not funny. Didn't laugh the first time I saw it in theaters. Don't laugh whenever you watch it. But there's some really cool things. I quote the nemesis, what's the plural of nemesis? All the time. That line's hilarious. I love Jean Garofalo in this film with the skull of her father in the bowling ball. I love that. Ben Stiller gives a really good performance. It doesn't feel very Ben Stillery, and when the rage finally does take over, it works. It works very well. It's an engaging, fun film when it sticks to a tone. But it can't quite decide on the kind of comedy it wants to be, so it veers all over the place. But I do rewatch it. It is funny. It could be amazing, and it's not quite there, you know, due to those tonal issues. Number 78 is Iron Man 2. I realize Iron Man 2 gets a lot of hate. Maybe hate's too strong of a word. A lot of people go, oh, it's the worst of the MCU films, while still acknowledging it does some things right. You watch Captain America: The First Avenger, which came out after this film, but watch it first and see how close Howard Stark became to Steve Rogers. And when Steve Rogers is lost, he's in the sea looking, right? Now, watch Iron Man 2 and view it as a standpoint of a dad who was never around for his kid, even though the weird convoluted message part of the molecule being hidden that only Tony could decipher. But view the absent dad as an obsessive search for Captain America that never comes to fruition. And now add in the Avengers Initiative and them trying to get all these people, one of those people being Steve Rogers, and you have a reason for Tony Stark to definitely not want to be there. He blames Rogers for his dad never being around, at least partially. You know what I mean? The films that came after Iron Man 2 make Iron Man 2 a more complete, engrossing film. And I think people overlook that, which is sad. We shouldn't overlook that sort of thing. On its own terms, Whiplash is an interesting villain. Yeah, he probably could have been stopped by like a SWAT team with a really well-timed sniper. But we are talking about superhero films, so I'm going to give some leeway to that. I really like Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer. He's a lot of fun. I really like the slimy senator in the movie. I really like the stuff in terms of he thought he was dying, the alcoholism, he and Pepper Potts' relationship. All of that really works. The movie does stumble in terms of being a building block for the rest of the MCU, but it's minor stumbling. It's more growing pains than stumbling. Number 77 is Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass is a movie I really liked when I first saw it. The acting was pretty good, most of the jokes landed, it moved at a fair pace, but buying it when it came out on Blu-ray and rewatching it, I discovered it doesn't have much replay value. That doesn't necessarily mean the movie is any less confidently made. This case is really effing good. Chloe Grace Moretz steals every scene she's in, things like that. But it does mean I'm never going to bother with it again. So it's number 77. Number 76 is Defendor. Defendor stars Woody Harrelson, Kat Dennings, and Elias Koteas. And Woody Harrelson is a mentally ill person who believes that he is the one to clean up crime. So he dresses himself up as a superhero and starts doing that. It's very well meaning, has a great ending, but is too slow to start, and its actual point, what it's trying to say, takes too long to really get there, I feel. But the actors are very committed, it's filmed well enough, and again, the ending is very strong. Number 75 is the Paul McGowan movie, Push. Push is an odd little film. It's got bad dialogue. It's very exposition heavy. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The plot is trite, and it's definitely too goofy for its own good. But those are all the reasons I really enjoy it, actually. It's a pretty solid cast that are trying their best to take this ridiculous dialogue and weird writing seriously. It has a really cool color palette. The costumes and the production design are all really interesting. It would have served better had they gone a more cartoon route. It's trying to be grounded and gritty and more realistic. But they should have just gone all in with the cartoon angle, and I think this actually would have been way cooler. I have fun with the movie, but that doesn't mean it's good per se. Number 74 is Spawn. The live-action movie from the 90s is a Todd McFarlane comic book series. Has a lot wrong with it. A lot wrong with it. Special effects are not good. I'm fairly certain when I saw this in theaters, I thought the special effects weren't good then. It's a little too convoluted for its own good. And certain scenes or shots seem designed solely based around how cool it would look and not in service of the characters of the story. But Spawn gets certain elements right. While it doesn't totally work, it does at least attempt to be socially conscious and discuss homelessness and living in poverty and that sort of issue. It doesn't work, but the attempt is recognized and appreciated. More importantly, though, when/if we get another Spawn live-action film, I actually really want to see Michael Jai White back. Michael Jai White is really, really good in the movie. Really good. He's an excellent choice as the character. And the practical suit makeup and special effects that are used, when they're practical, excellent. The suit looks great. He moves in it very well. It's cool to look at. And if we get a hypothetical another live-action Spawn film, I want John Leguizamo to return as Clown. It's my second favorite performance of John Leguizamo as this character. He is that character from the comics incarnate. I'm not saying no one else can do it, but I'm having a hard time picturing who else would do it with such ridiculous verve and gusto. The plot doesn't actually make a lot of sense. The special effects are bad. The action scenes are and it's edited all to hell. To be fair to the movie, the PG-13 theatrically cut version sucked a whole bunch. The R-rated director's cut version that was released on DVD and Blu-ray is better. Not flawless, not great, but better. Number 73 is the Russell Mulcahy film, The Shadow, starring Alec Baldwin. Somebody help me here. The director of Highlander, Ricochet, things like that. Russell Mulcahy? I never had to say his name out loud before, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But that has something to do with the movie. Let's get back to this. The Shadow is an interesting film. Mel B. Miller is terribly cast. And the bad guy's plan is pretty effing stupid. And Tim Curry's characterization, great though he is in the movie, makes no sense. But Alec Baldwin is good. He is just charmed right up to the wazoo in this film. The production design is magnificent. The cityscape, the tubes they use to send messages back and forth to the people who work for the Shadow are great. The camera work is inventive and exciting. The special effects mostly hold up fairly well. And despite the issues of the film, it is really enjoyable. But because Alec Baldwin and Penelope Miller have no chemistry, and because it's such a weird, goofy thing, it never quite gets where it should have, if that makes sense. Number 72 is Alter Egos, is a comedy about some teenage superheroes trying to not let people know the secret identity, even as they're falling in love with two girls. It's cute, it's harmless, it's fluff. It's pure fluff. But it's fun fluff. Number 71 is Zebra Man. people who have seen this might be shocked that it's not higher on the list. But the first Superman movie is only okay. It's got fun costuming, a great sense of energy and style, and nothing else to it. The action scenes are okay. The acting is okay. And it's never quite as over the top as it really, really should be. Number 70 is Green Lantern Emerald Knight. Green Lantern Emerald Knight is a DC animated movie that went straight to video and is a anthology series of a bunch of like missions the Green Lantern Corps overall go on. We don't follow just one Green Lantern throughout it. It works fairly well. There's really no larger wraparound. It connects everything very well, which is one of the issues with it. Given that it's straight to DVD, the animation's fairly strong, striking character design, excellent score, and it's a nice little time waster. Number 69, the Powerpuff Girls movie. The Powerpuff Girls movie is delightful and enjoyable and very, very cute. And it holds up fairly well, but it does do one thing that irks me, and that is you kind of have to already know the show to get everything going on in the film. And I don't mean just little side details for fans of the show, but I mean like certain characterization moments throughout. And as a movie, it should be able to stand on its own and simply enhance or be enhanced by the seasons of the show. And it doesn't quite do that. But if you're a big fan of Powerpuff Girls, you're going to love this movie. Number 68 is Swamp Thing. Wes Craven's live-action Swamp Thing movie is great. Alex Holland is a very easy character to sympathize with. He's portrayed very, very well. The bad guy's plan is interesting. The atmosphere, the set design are all great. Louis Jordan, who played Swamp Thing in this movie, its sequel, the live-action TV show, and voiced the character on the animated Saturday morning cartoon show, is a godsend. No one else will ever be able to portray Swamp Thing and give him such gravitas, give him such emotion, and make it all work so well. However, Wes Craven's Swamp Thing was a low-budget film, and it kind of feels it sometimes, and sadly, it feels it in the one place that actually matters most. Swamp Thing himself looks kind of bad. Not in terms of design or anything like that, but it really does look like cheap rubber mask and a green wetsuit with seaweed stuck to it. That's an oversimplification, but you get what I'm saying. It's not good, and that, given what the movie is, that's not really forgivable. Number 67 is Doctor Strange. Calm down, people. Not the Marvel live-action MCU Doctor Strange. This is the Marvel animated direct-to-DVD Doctor Strange that came out when both DC and Marvel were releasing animated movies based around the properties. With the launch of MCU, Marvel has kind of stopped doing that for the most part and focused more on TV shows. DC has continued to do that with newly released films like Batman and Two-Face, Batman and Harley Quinn. There's another one coming out next year called Batman Gotham by Gaslight. So yeah, they've kept this tradition alive. That's beside the point though. Doctor Strange animated movies, pretty good. It's one of the best of the Marvel animated flicks, thanks to strong writing, interesting characterizations, and a really cool plot involving the subconscious dreams of children summoning a monster from another realm. And that's all really, really interesting. Much like all but one of the Marvel animated movies from this time period, it suffers from a really, really bad case of just not the best animation whatsoever. The movie looks better than either of the Ultimate Avengers films, and the sense of speed and character movements are less stiff. And with casting spells, it actually looks really cool, but they do still look a little bit stiff. It looks like it was made for how much it cost, if that makes sense. They weren't really able to overcome limitations in that regard. And instead of skimping in other ways to skimp on the animation, you're an animated movie. You can't really do that. But thanks to solid creature design and an engaging script and adventure, the movie is fun and watchable. I've seen it several times. It's just not nearly as good as it could or should have been. Number 66 is Iron Man and Hulk, Heroes United. It is a cel-shaded CGI animated film, and it has no plot to speak of. It is just a giant action scene. As a giant action scene, it's totally kick-ass. As a movie unto itself, with characterization and a narrative and things to move forward. Bare bones, basically, I couldn't tell you the plot of this film if you paid me right now. Despite having seen it at least twice, it's not memorable. Sequences, scenes, the action, great. I'm not actually sure if there was a story. Number 65 is The Toxic Avenger Part 2. Part 2 is a pretty decent send-up to the first Toxic Avenger movie. It feels a little bit rushed at times, and not in the traditional cheap Troma sort of doing things quickly. It feels like they didn't fully think who the bad guy would be, or how they would send Toxie on another adventure, so it feels a bit reliant on plot points from the first movie. But the makeup is better on Toxie. The world building is really interesting this go around in terms of who we meet, how certain characters evolve from the first film, and things like that. It's just that the adventure action-y portion, not quite up to snuff, especially given the greatness of other Toxic Avenger films. Number 64 is Avengers Grimm. You might be scratching your head going, Avengers Grimm? Is that, what? Huh? Avengers Grimm is an Asylum film that came out to coincide with the release of the second Avengers film. It was written and directed by Jeremy M. Inman and has a lot going for it. Casper Van Dien's a great bad guy as Rumpelstiltskin. The sets and the production and the art design are magnificent. The plot is really engaging and clever and smart. Lou Ferrigno turns in a really sympathetic and engaging performance as a character who will become Iron John, and the costumes are just glorious. I love the costumes. The score is awesome. The ending song is great. Our main characters, Snow White, Cinderella, Rapunzel, they all have different powers. Cinderella's power seems to be whatever you need it to be at this point in the film. She does not have a consistent power base, which really sucks. And the biggest flaw in the film is Snow White herself. The actress playing her is simply terrible. Remarkably bad. Shamefully bad, I would even say, even by Asylum standards, mind you. I'm shocked she made it through auditions, much less the entire production. It's very frustrating because there's so much that's good to great about this movie, especially given its lower budget Asylum stuff. And it comes crashing down from that greatness hard because the main character has all the emotionality of a robot just staring at you. That's it. and that hurts it a lot. For a more interesting take on the same thing, see its sequel, Sinister Squad. Sinister Squad is a direct sequel to this movie and is way better in every aspect. Number 63 is the Batman Superman movie. The Batman Superman movie ties into both the much beloved Batman the Animated Series and I guess it was beloved, I don't really know, Superman Animated Series that was happening at the same time. It's really good. It's really engaging. Both Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne are very intelligent, interesting people. The reason they need to team up makes sense. The animation, given that it is again TV, really strong, great character design. You've probably seen these shows. You know what this looks like, and it's gorgeous, gorgeous, very detailed animation. But the complaint I have with the movie might just be me not being familiar enough with Superman stuff. The two outside of their respective capes and towels, if Clark Kent's not wearing glasses, identical, making some scenes kind of confusing for a few minutes. But even beyond that, you do have to have a baseline understanding of where these two characters are coming from in response to where their respective animated shows were at the time to understand about the first 5 to 8 minutes of the movie. But it's worth your time. If you have a little kid who loves Batman or Superman, check this out. Number 62 is Hellboy. The theatrical cut of Hellboy was not very good. It felt very rushed and very awkward at times, while having really strong, interesting elements. The gothic imagery, the amazing makeup effects, things like that. I didn't much care for it for that. I then watched the director's cut that was released, and it's a way better movie. It fleshes things out more. It allows the villains to have an actual plan. It builds them up a bit more as a threat. It streamlines certain aspects of Hellboy and Stella Blair's character of Liz into a much more cohesive whole. It feels like a more organic, interesting movie. It's still not quite there, though. Certain sequences don't totally work. And the idea that they send somebody out, the government sends somebody out to debunk all these sightings of Hellboy isn't explored enough to make it worth the time the movie spends focusing on that, if that makes sense. But it is fun, it's perfectly acted, and it looks amazing. Number 61 is Iron Man and Captain America Heroes United. This is the other Heroes United film I was talking about. Again, cel-shaded CGI. And this one actually has more of a plot than the other one, despite still being basically just 2 extended action scenes, most of it 70-ish minute runtime. It does throw in a bit more of a narrative thread to follow everything through, which is why it's higher on the list than the other one. Has all the same qualities and drawbacks otherwise. Good animation, lots of exciting fight scenes, no real characterization despite having more of a plot, things like that. It's fun, it's enjoyable. If all you want to see are Iron Man and Captain America kick a lot of ass in a cartoony way, have at it. Number 60 is The Hulk. The Hulk is the Ang Lee film from 2003, I think it was. I don't have that release year directly in front of me. That most people really, really, really hate, but I really, really, really appreciate and like half of it. I love Eric Bana in this film. Love Eric Bana in this film. I love Jennifer Connelly in this film. I really love the editing as well. If you watch the Nostalgia Critics review for it, he complains about the editing where it literally becomes kind of comic book pages, and the people who are cutting explosions or whatever are actually like cut out and move like paper. I think that's awesome. You're bringing comic books to life. It's really cool. The editing with all the split screen stuff is excellent use. And legitimately understood that if you're using split screen, you want to see different angles of whatever the focal point should be, not just the same thing of somebody turning around. Fuck you, First Class. Fuck you up your stupid ass. This movie, pretty damn good. I like Eric Bana. I love Jennifer Connelly. I like the special effects. I thought the Hulk looked really good. Didn't 100% age well, but aged better than other CGI fests from around that time. It moved very quickly despite being over 2 hours. I like how they kind of tied into genetic research and stuff. That's interesting. The movie has issues though. Monster Dog does not work. Stupid idea, badly executed, just awkward all the way around, and the ending sucked. Nick Nolte becomes a gas cloud? What the hell? Where's my climax? Where is the action? Where is anything that makes... Why are you a gas cloud? Stupid! But if you can get over the 5 minutes of screen time those two things take, you'll actually find a really interesting human drama that disguises itself in superhero trappings that's well acted, well directed, and very, very stylish. Number 59 is Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. This film, awesome. It feels much bigger and much more open than the film it's a direct sequel to. The cast retained a pretty good chemistry. They play off each other nicely. Now, having been these characters multiple times, Chris Evans still steals the show as Johnny Storm. The special effects are awesome, out of the main four, of course. But really, the star of the show is Doug Jones as Silver Surfer. The makeup on him, great. The CGI special effects used to enhance his glowy, liquidy texture body, great. Plot, his dialogue, his relationship to Sue Storm, fantastic. Well thought out, interesting stuff. Hell, even the wedding stuff, I really like. I like the resolution to the wedding stuff at the end of the film. Quiet, small, work. It's a little bit too goofy for its own good at times. The way they defeat the big bad this go around is to have one person use all the powers at once, which is represented very poorly. It looks dumb. And bring back Doctor Doom, while it works, turning him evil at the end just makes it feel like a rehash of the first movie. Taking him up just to be back and be able to have some fun and that sort of thing, I think would be a bit more interesting there. But what do I know? Number 58 is Tesseract. This is the live-action film based on the long-running manga and anime series, and it looks gorgeous. It's a gorgeous-looking film. Great cinematography, awesome costumes, great, really cool special effects that tries to throw everything the series has ever done into one film. It's way too complicated for its own good, despite having so many awesome elements to it. You don't need to fit everything in there. If something didn't happen until episode 50 and you're the first movie, don't do that thing. That requires too much explanation. You know what I mean? With that being said, if you're a huge fan of anime, Japanese cinema generally speaking, or of the kind of Power Ranger style of suits and fighting and whatnot, the movie is fun. It just doesn't 100% come together in a way that makes any actual kind of sense unto itself. As always, I've been your host, Bobby. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week with more Superhero Countdown.